November 22nd, 1963. A date that would forever be etched in the annals of American history. Dallas, Texas. A bright Friday afternoon turned into a nightmare etched in celluloid. The city was bustling with excitement and anticipation as President John F. Kennedy's motorcade made its way through the streets. The air was filled with a sense of hope and optimism, a feeling that would soon be shattered. Abraham Zapruder, a dress manufacturer, stood ready to capture President John F. Kennedy's motorcade on his new 8mm Bell & Howell camera. Little did he know he was about to document a moment that would be analyzed, scrutinized, and debated for decades to come. He aimed, he filmed, and unknowingly documented one of the most shocking events in American history. As the motorcade approached, Zapruder's camera whirred to life, capturing the President and First Lady as they waved to the crowd. The atmosphere was electric, filled with cheers and applause. This was no home movie, it was a horrifying chronicle of an assassination, a reel of film forever known as the Zapruder film. The footage, though grainy and unsteady, would become one of the most significant pieces of evidence in the investigation of President Kennedy's assassination. The Zapruder film is not just a piece of evidence, it is a haunting spectre of a day when innocents died. The film's stark imagery captured the brutal reality of the assassination, leaving an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of the nation. It is a haunting spectre of a day when innocents died. The film's frames, each one a snapshot of a moment frozen in time, tell a story of tragedy and loss. The images are raw and unfiltered, a stark reminder of the fragility of life. In 486 agonizing frames captured over 26 seconds, the film shows the presidential limousine gliding through Dealey Plaza. Then, the unthinkable, the sound of gunfire, the sudden chaos, and the realization that something terrible had happened. The film captures the moment when bullets ripped through the air, fatally wounding President Kennedy. The horror of that moment is palpable. As the president clutches his throat and slumps forward, the First Lady's desperate attempt to reach out to him, a gesture of love and helplessness, is forever etched in the minds of those who have seen the film. The images are stark, brutal, and unforgettable. Each frame tells a story of its own, a story of a nation in shock and mourning. The film's raw power lies in its ability to convey the horror and tragedy of that day in a way that words alone cannot. This grainy home movie footage became a national obsession. It was broadcast on television, analyzed by experts, and discussed in living rooms across the country. The Zapruder film became a symbol of the nation's grief and a focal point for the search for answers. It offered the closest, most visceral glimpse into the assassination. The film's frames were scrutinized for clues, each one examined in the hope of uncovering the truth behind the president's death. The Zapruder film became a key piece of evidence in the investigation, a window into the events of that fateful day. The Zapruder film transcended its celluloid confines. It became a cultural artifact, a morbid curiosity, and a source of endless debate and speculation. The film's impact extended beyond the realm of historical documentation, influencing art, literature, and popular culture. It became a cultural artifact, a morbid curiosity, and a source of endless debate and speculation. The film's frames were dissected and analyzed, each one offering a new perspective on the events of that day. The Zapruder film became a symbol of the nation's quest for truth and justice. The Zapruder film is not merely a historical document. It is a window into the heart of a national trauma. The film's images capture the raw emotion of a nation in mourning, a nation grappling with the loss of its leader and the uncertainty of the future. It is a window into the heart of a national trauma. The film's frames are a testament to the pain and sorrow felt by millions of Americans. The Zapruder film serves as a reminder of the fragility of life and the impact of violence on a nation. It is a reminder that even in the sunshine, darkness can lurk. The film's imagery, captured on a bright and sunny day, stands in stark contrast to the darkness of the events it depicts. The Zapruder film is a powerful reminder of the ever-present potential for tragedy, even in moments of joy and celebration, and it poses a question that continues to echo through the decades. What really happened that day in Dallas? The Zapruder film has fueled countless theories and speculations, each one attempting to unravel the mystery of the assassination. The film's frames, though silent, speak volumes, leaving us with more questions than answers. The assassination of President Kennedy sent shockwaves through the nation. It was a moment that would forever be etched in the collective memory of the American people. The sudden and violent end to a charismatic leader's life left the country in a state of disbelief and mourning. The streets were filled with people, their faces etched with sorrow and confusion as they tried to make sense of the tragedy that had unfolded. But the release of the Zapruder film, though initially suppressed, ripped open the wound and poured salt on it. This home movie, captured by Abraham Zapruder, an ordinary citizen, became an extraordinary piece of evidence. It was a silent witness to the horror that unfolded on that fateful day in Dallas. The film's grainy frames, showing the president's motorcade and the fatal shots, were more than just images. They were a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the suddenness with which it can be taken away. Americans used to the sanitized violence of Hollywood were confronted with the raw, unflinching reality of an assassination. In an era where movie violence was often stylized and fictional, the Zapruder film presented a jarring contrast. It was not a scene from a movie, but a real-life event, unedited and unembellished. The film's stark depiction of violence was a wake-up call, shattering the illusion of safety and security that many Americans had taken for granted. Life magazine, in a controversial move, purchased the rights to the film. This decision was met with both praise and criticism. On one hand, it was seen as a bold journalistic move, bringing an important piece of history to the public. On the other hand, it was viewed as a sensationalist act, exploiting a national tragedy for profit. The magazine's choice to publish the frames was a gamble, one that would have lasting implications for both the media and the public. They published selected frames, albeit blurred and redacted, bringing the horror of the assassination into the living rooms of millions. These images, though altered to soften the blow, still conveyed the gravity of the event. Families gathered around their coffee tables, flipping through the pages of Life magazine, were confronted with the stark reality of the president's death. The blurred frames left much to the imagination, but they also left an indelible mark on the viewers' minds. The images were seared into the public consciousness. They became a part of the national dialogue, a reference point for discussions about violence, media ethics, and the nature of truth. The frames from the Zapruder film were not just pictures. They were symbols of a nation's grief and a catalyst for change. They forced people to confront uncomfortable truths and question the narratives they had been fed. They sparked outrage, ignited conspiracy theories, and fueled a deep mistrust in the official narrative. The film's release opened the floodgates for speculation and doubt. People began to question the official account of the assassination, leading to a proliferation of conspiracy theories. Was there a second shooter? Was it a government cover-up? These questions, fueled by the graphic nature of the film, created a climate of suspicion and paranoia that persists to this day. The Zapruder film became a cultural touchstone, a shared experience of national trauma. It was more than just a piece of evidence. It was a collective memory, a moment frozen in time that everyone could relate to. The film was shown in theaters, on television, and in classrooms, becoming a part of the American cultural fabric. It was a reminder of a dark day in history, but also a testament to the resilience of the American people. It was a grim spectacle that people couldn't turn away from. The film's raw depiction of violence was both horrifying and mesmerizing. People watched it over and over, trying to make sense of the senseless, to find meaning in the chaos. The Zapruder film became a focal point for collective grief and a symbol of the nation's vulnerability. It was a reminder that even the most powerful and protected individuals were not immune to the forces of violence and hatred. It dominated dinner table conversations, fueled late-night debates, and haunted the nation's dreams. The film's impact was not confined to the public sphere. It permeated private lives as well. Families discussed it over dinner, friends debated it late into the night, and individuals wrestled with its implications in their quiet moments. The Zapruder film was more than just a historical document. It was a catalyst for introspection and dialogue, forcing people to confront their own beliefs and fears. The film's release also raised serious questions about media ethics and the public's right to know. Should such graphic content be made public? What are the responsibilities of journalists in reporting on violence and tragedy? These questions sparked heated debates in newsrooms and academic circles, leading to a re-evaluation of journalistic standards and practices. The Zapruder film challenged the media to balance the public's right to know with the need to protect individuals from unnecessary harm. Was it necessary to expose the nation to such graphic content? This question remains a point of contention. Some argue that the film's release was essential for transparency and accountability, while others believe it was an unnecessary intrusion into the nation's grief. The debate over the Zapruder film's release is a microcosm of larger discussions about the role of the media in society and the ethical boundaries of journalism. Did the public good outweigh the potential harm? This question is at the heart of the ethical debate surrounding the Zapruder film. On one hand, the film provided crucial evidence and sparked important conversations about violence, media, and truth. On the other hand, it exposed millions to graphic content that could have lasting psychological effects. The balance between public good and potential harm is a delicate one, and the Zapruder film remains a case study in navigating this complex terrain. These questions remain relevant even today in our age of instant news and viral videos. The ethical dilemmas posed by the Zapruder film are not confined to the past, they are more pertinent than ever in our digital age. With the advent of social media and the 24-hour news cycle, the line between public interest and sensationalism has become increasingly blurred. The lessons learned from the Zapruder film continue to inform contemporary discussions about media ethics and the responsibilities of journalists. The Zapruder film, in its stark and brutal honesty, forced America to confront the fragility of life, the darkness that can lurk in broad daylight, and the enduring power of images to shock, horrify, and shape our understanding of history. It is a testament to the power of visual media to capture and convey the complexities of human experience. The film's impact extends beyond the event it depicts. It serves as a reminder of the profound influence that images can have on our collective consciousness and our understanding of the world.